What's going on, guys? Today we are inside of Affinity Studio and we're going to take a look at using the data merge layout tool. So what we're going to do first of all is just choose a size canvas that we want to use for our project, and this should be based on the size that your printer can print. So I have an A3 size printer, however most of you guys may only have an A4. So for the purpose of this tutorial we'll just go with an A4 canvas. That is a standard letter size here in the UK. You guys in the States may want to go ahead and choose letter, but I'll go ahead and just double tap on A4 to get started. Okay, so here we are inside of the interface, and right now if we look at the top left hand side you can see we are inside of the vector section. However, for this tutorial we want to switch over to layout. Okay, so before I get started with the tutorial, one thing I do want to do is just head over to the right hand side toolbar menu here at the top, and I want to toggle off the preview mode. That is going to turn off our margin and our bleed lines, as I find that a little bit distracting. So I'll just go ahead and toggle that off. Okay, so the purpose of using the data merge layout tool is to take a single design, such as maybe a business card or a party invitation, and having that duplicate across the entire page, meaning that we can print off this one page and cut those out individually, giving us more business cards or party invitations or whatever it is that you guys may have designed. So to get started, we'll make our way over to the left hand side toolbar menu and we'll select the data merge layout tool. So once you select that, what we want to do is just drag over from one side of the canvas down to the other, filling the entire page. So I'm just going to zoom out just a little bit so I can see both of these corners, and we'll start right here at the top. Then it's just a case of dragging from one corner down to the other and letting that snap into place. If you guys don't have that automatically snap, all you need to do is go up to the top right hand side of your menu bar and just turn on snapping, which is right there, and that will automatically work for you. You have some additional options inside of here, but for the most part you don't really need to mess with any of that. Just make sure that you do toggle on and off your snapping. Okay, since we have our data merge layout tool selected, that gives us access to these four different cells that we have here in front of us, and what you need to pay attention to here is the one on the top left hand side. This is going to be where we make our design, and it's automatically going to be duplicated across all of the others. So for instance, if I just go and grab a random shape and I'll start drawing it in the top left hand side, you can see it starts to copy that across each one of the other cells. I'll go ahead and just delete that because we don't need it. But just before I move on, actually I'll show you guys you can add as many different shapes and stuff inside of here that you would like, and it just automatically duplicate. All you got to do is make sure you stay within these boundaries. However, we're going to change the size of these in just a moment. First of all, we just need to come up with a design concept, what we're going to do for this tutorial. And because I want to make it a little bit custom, just to teach you guys a little bit more, I'm going to make myself a ticket for a concert, which is going to feature a profile picture, and we're going to make each one of the pictures different, as well as a name and a seat number and a QR code as well, which would be the entry system to get into the concert. Okay, so moving on, what we're going to do is make our way back over to the left hand side toolbar menu and once again select the data merge layout tool. That then is going to give us all of the options up here that we need in order to add additional rows and change the size of our canvas or our cell. So what we're going to do first of all is change the size of the cell, as for this type of project it's going to be a width of 70 and a height of 100mm. So I'll go ahead and just type in 70 on the width and 100 on the height. Go ahead and hit enter, so we've got the size that we need. Then what we need to do from here is just make sure that we can fill the entire page, so we need to add some more rows. However, before we do that, we need to make sure that we turn on preserve cell size to make sure it sticks to the 100 and the 70 that was set up here. If we don't do that, it's going to make that a random size once again. So I'll quickly just demonstrate that by adding another row, and you can see it's just changed the size, and that is not the size that we need. So I'll go back to what we had a moment ago and I'll turn on the preserve cell size. Then once again we'll add the additional rows, and that will stay the exact size that we need. So looking at this, it comes slightly off the page at the bottom, so I'm just going to adjust that slightly just to make sure it does fill the page. Instead of 100mm, I'll change that to 99. Go ahead and hit enter, and now that fits perfectly across the entire canvas or the page. So as I previously stated, we can ignore all of the rest of these cells, and all we need to focus on is the one right here on the top left hand side, which then will automatically get duplicated across the rest of those. So we'll quickly put a design together and I'll show you how all this works. So if we make our way back over to the left hand side toolbar menu, and I'm going to choose a place tool, which is going to give me the option to bring in some images that I can use for the background. So I'll go ahead and select that. Inside of this folder, these are going to be all of the images that I'm going to use for this demonstration to show you guys how it works. These are all just random profile pictures which I got from Google just to demonstrate this project. So you guys can go and find some random images if you like, or maybe use some images that you have of friends and family. It's entirely up to you. But first of all, I'm going to select this one as my background. So I'll go ahead and choose open. Then it's just a case of dropping it in the top left hand side, and then what we need to do is just move this over and resize it to make sure that we can fit it where we want it to go. So first of all, I want to make this bigger so I know it fills the entire cell. So I'll go ahead and just make that slightly big, and I'm going to bring it over to center the girl in the middle right there. Maybe bring it up a little bit, and that will do absolutely fine. Okay, so at this point, what I'm going to do is speed up the video while I put this design together so you guys don't have to sit there for too long watching me do it. However, what I will do is talk you guys through what I've done after it's completed. So I'll see you in just a moment. Okay, so here is the final design, and it may look a little bit complicated to some of you guys. However, this really is straightforward. It's mainly just text, a shape in the background for the party in the park, and in the center here I've got this random rectangle which is just going to act as a cutout point for the lanyard to go around your neck. So other than that, we've got the text like I stated and the QR code at the bottom. If you do want to add text to your design, just simply go over to the left hand side toolbar menu, select the frame text tool, just drag out a box to any size that you would like. Inside of here, just type in any information for your design, such as the name or the seat number or maybe the title right here at the top. Then all you got to do is determine what kind of font you would like to use and whether you'd like that bold or regular and what size font you would like. That's all I've done here is I've just changed the size of the font and made one bold and one regular. So we'll go ahead and just remove that because I don't need it anymore. And what else I did is I added the QR code. If you guys want a QR code in your design as well, just make your way over to the left hand side toolbar menu inside of the shapes menu. So if we'll go ahead and open that up once again, at the bottom we have the QR code tool. Then just drag that out on your design to any size that you would like. Inside of the top menu, we have the option to change the color of the QR code. You can make that any color that you want. And we also have the option right here to change that to a different website if you want that to navigate somewhere else. But we'll talk about that in just a moment, as we want these to all go to different places. So we'll just ignore that for the moment. But what I'll do is I'll just want to quickly demonstrate a problem that you guys may have as you start designing. You may add some elements to your design that don't automatically get duplicated across the rest of those. If that does happen, it's because it is outside of your design. So if I move this party in the park outside of the layers, you can see it's now in the top left hand side where I originally designed it, but it's not been duplicated across the rest of those. If you do have that problem, just double check your layers and make sure that it is inside of your data merge layout tool, and then it's going to get duplicated across the entire project. So moving on, I'll delete that QR code that we just created because I don't need it in this design, and we'll talk about how we're going to make this individually personalized to all of those names and profile pictures. So what we need to do first of all is we're going to add a profile picture on here. You guys don't need to add a profile picture if you don't want to. You can simply just do the names and the seat numbers and the QR codes. However, you may want to get a little bit more personalized, so we will do an image. So what I'll do, I'll make my way back over to the left hand side toolbar menu, and I'm going to select this round picture frame ellipse tool. So I'll go ahead and I'll just select that. I'm going to drag that to a rough size that I'm happy with. I'm just going to hold down shift just to make that a perfect circle and just move that into place. So I'll grab my move tool up here on the top left hand side. I'm going to zoom in on this so I can be a little bit more precise and see what I'm doing. So I'll go ahead and just center that using the green line in the middle and just bring that up slightly. So at the moment, this is just an empty picture frame. So we could go into the stock menu and search for an image to drag in there as a placeholder. But just to be a bit quicker, instead, I'm just going to add a stroke to this and just make that white. Then we can see what that is going to be. So I'll just go ahead and just zoom back out, and then we can focus on the rest of this tutorial. So this demonstrates exactly what I said before, where we've designed our picture frame in our main design, but it's not been duplicated across the rest of those. And that is because it's not inside of our data merge, inside of our layers. So just simply drag that inside and drop it, and now that's been duplicated across the rest of those. So moving on, what we need to do is we now need to add all of our images inside of here with our names, our seat numbers and our QR codes, and all of this information is going to be different. So we'll have a different profile picture for each person, a different name, a different seat number, and a QR code that goes to a different address. So what we need to do from here is have access to a spreadsheet program, whether that is Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets, Apple Pages, or any spreadsheet software that you guys may have. What you need to be able to do is just export that as an Excel file, and I'll talk you through that in just a moment. So for this tutorial, I'm going to use Microsoft Excel, so I'll go ahead and open that up. So for those of you guys who have never created a spreadsheet before, this is really straightforward, even though it may look a little bit overwhelming. All we've got to do is simply just fill in these columns and cells with the information that we need for our design. So right here, starting with A on number 1, we're just going to type in photo, as that's going to be one of the elements inside of our design. So I'll go ahead and type that first. Next to that, we can go ahead and we can type in name, as that's going to be the name of each person. Next to that, we'll just type in seat number, followed by the QR code or entry system, depending on what you guys want to call it. And it really is as easy as that. But what I want to do is just make these a little bit bigger just by dragging in between the D and the E. That then is going to give us a little bit more room for the QR code information that we're going to put inside of there. And the seat number I'll leave because that's only going to consist of 3 or 4 numbers. The name I'll also make a little bit bigger just so we can fit the full names in there. And the photo, I'll make that bigger too, just because that could be a long path name, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. So all we need to do now is just start adding all of the photo path file names, and I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. Adding all of the names of the people that we want on our tickets, as well as their seat numbers and entry system codes. So first of all, we need to go ahead and open up our folder to where all of our images are, which I have right here. So if you guys are on a Mac, what you need to do is right click on any of your images. Once you've done that, you need to hold down Option on your keyboard. That then is going to change that copy right there to copy as path name. I think you guys on Windows already have this option available without having to push anything on the keyboard. However, I'm a Mac user, so I can't confirm that. So like I said, if you are on a Mac, just hold down Option, copy as path name, then go back over into the Excel sheet and just paste that in under the photo. Then what we need to do from here, this is going to be an important step, as if we don't do this, it's not going to work. You can see that we have the path name inside of these quotation marks, and we need to delete the quotation marks as it stops it from working. Then what we need to do is just continue going through all of our images inside of our folder, copying all of the path names for each one of them, pasting them in and deleting those quotation marks. Then next to that, we'll add a name, so you can add in any random name that you would like. You can put in any seat number that you would like, as well as any random code inside of your entry system. So what I'll do is I'll speed this up quickly so you guys don't have to sit there watching me do all this, and I'll see you in just a moment. Okay guys, so here is my completed Excel sheet, and I've got all of my path file names to my images inside of my folder, and I deleted all the quotation marks. I don't know if you guys on Windows are going to have the quotation marks when you paste this in. However, if you do, just make sure that you also delete those. Next to that, I've got all these random names which I got off Google. Then next to that, I've got all of my seat numbers, which I just put in a complete random order. I went up to seat number 301, as a concert venue will have a large amount of seats, but you guys are welcome to just put in seat number 1 all the way through to 22 or 21. It's entirely up to you how you'd like to do your seat numbers. Then next to that, I've got these QR codes, which just goes to random websites, which I got from Google as well, so you can go ahead and just ignore them. It really is just a placeholder just to show you how it works. In reality, you guys would have your own real URLs or maybe data entry codes to get into the concert or whatever it is that you are designing. But for this tutorial, we'll just leave it the way it is. So you can add as many as you like in here. You could have 3,000 people if you want, or maybe just 16. It's entirely up to you how many you want to add. Once you've gotten all the information, just go up to your file, go down and just save that as any file name that you would like. I've already saved this to ticket data up here at the top, as you can see. So once you've done that, we'll go back over to Affinity Studio and I'll show you how this all comes together. So we'll go over to the left hand side and we're going to change from stock over to data merge. Once again, if you guys don't see data merge, just make your way up to window on the top menu bar, go down to where it says layout and just make sure that you have data merge checked. So once we are inside of the data merge, what we need to do is we need to add a data file. So we'll go ahead and select that. then that is just going to navigate to your hard drive. All you got to do is simply go and find where you saved that file and just import it. So I've just imported my Excel file, as you can see right here, which is ticket data. And once you import it, you're going to have all of this information right here. If we just go onto this advanced data tools section and we open that up, we can see all of the information inside of our Excel file, such as the path names, the name for each person, their seat number, and the entry code that we created. So we can see we've got all the information that we need. So we'll go ahead and just close that real quick. Then what we need to do from here is we need to start assigning all of these to the different parts of the design. So first of all, I'll go ahead and I'll grab the picture frame. And once I've done that, we're going to go and choose this bind field right here. Then you're going to choose the option which says photo. That then is going to add the image. So if we go ahead and we turn on preview with record, that will add the first image inside of our list. And at the moment, it does show the same image across each one of these. However, that will change in just a moment when we come to generate the file. So moving on, we're now going to change the name for each one of these to be different people, as well as a seat number and a QR code. And it's very much the same process. All we're going to do is we're going to grab our frame text tool and we're going to highlight where it says your name. So I'll go ahead and just make sure I get your name only. When you do this, just make sure that you grab the first and the last of each one of your characters. You don't want to grab any empty spaces that you don't need. So for this example, I'll grab the Y and the E. Then we'll make our way back over to the data merge and we're going to choose the insert field. This time around, we're going to choose name. That then will update all the names as well. And like I said, this will all change in just a moment when we come to generate the file. And the exact same principle with the seat number. However, all we're going to do is we're going to grab the zeros. We're going to ignore the seat number text. So we'll grab all of those zeros right there. Come back over to our data merge section. We're going to choose insert field. This time around, we're going to choose seat. Then that there is changed to seat number 5. And the exact same principle again for the QR code. The only thing that's going to change is it says insert field here. When we go ahead and we choose a QR code in the layers, it's now going to change to bind field. So we'll go ahead and we'll choose that and we'll go down and we'll select entry code. And that will change a QR code for us. So now we've filled in all of the fields that we want to change from the image down to the name, seat number and QR code. All that's left to do is hit this generate button, which then is going to add all different images, all different names and all different seat numbers and QR code information. So we'll go ahead and we'll select generate. Then that will open up a brand new window. So you can see at the moment we only have 3 people on our sheet, and that is because we are at the end of our spreadsheet list. So if I make my way over to the left hand side pages panel, you can see that we are on page 3 and that is the last 3 people inside of our list. If you guys create a list of maybe 6,000 people, for instance, you're going to have a lot more pages than what I've got here. So the amount of pages is going to be determined by how many people are inside of the list. But if we make our way up through this, you can see that we have different names and different profiles on each one of these people. And I'll go all the way from the bottom to the top and you can see how they all change from the QR code down to the image. So it really is as simple as that. So I'll zoom back out real quick so we can see all of these. So all we'd have to do at this point is just simply print this off and just cut these out individually. Maybe then laminate them and put some lanyards inside of these holes. You'd have to cut those out as well once you've printed them off. But it really is as simple as that. So this has opened up a brand new page once we generate it. If you want to go back to your original file that you was working on, it's just over here on the left hand side. As you can see, I've named mine tickets demo. So you want to go ahead and just save this file as your original. And you can go and close this if you don't need to use this one anymore. If you need to come back and generate some more, just go back into your original file once again. Go back into your data merge section and just regenerate that file. Then that will create that once again with all of the different photos and names and seat numbers, etc. And you can always add even more people if you want to. I'll go ahead and close that. All you got to simply do is just go back to your Excel file, just put in some more names and images and all that sort of stuff. Come up here and you just refresh right here on the file. That will then update your Excel file and it will add all the additional names and pictures that you put inside of that file, and it'll automatically generate those as well to make an even bigger list. So if you guys found today's video useful, please go ahead and hit that like button, as it helps me out with the YouTube algorithm and helps other people find my content. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, as I'm on a personal mission to try and hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of 2025. And you guys could really make that happen. But for now, stay creative, have a go at doing this tutorial, and I'll see you guys in the next video.